Good afternoon. Welcome to Let's Explore with the mad scientist from the Edgerton Explore Center. Today's fun activities are going to be peep jousting, which we have our vacuum pump here, and it's kind of a cool experiment where we are going to take the air out of our bell jar, and we will see what happens to the peeps inside of the bell jar when they are removed from the oxygen. Okay, so to get started, we are going to hook up our vacuum and we are going to set our little peeps. So today is the peep against the bunny. And we are going to put them in here and they're going to hopefully have a little battle. And we will see what happens to our peeps and our bunnies. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to turn on the vacuum and we have the hose hooked up. The air is going to be sucked out from inside of the bell jar. And we're going to see what happens when the air is removed. What actually happens to the peeps, which are full of air inside of the marshmallow. All right, so let's give it a shot here. There we go. All right. So now, look very carefully at our little peep and our marshmallow bunny. By the air being sucked out, they're actually expanding in the bell jar. All right, so now we're going to shut off the vacuum. And here comes the battle. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1.
Maybe.
Go. They were crushed when the air went back into the bell jar. So now the fluffy little marshmallow peeps are now shriveled up marshmallow. Okay, we can do this again.
Try it? Just some bunnies.
All right, we're gonna challenge the bunnies.
See if we can get them to actually stand up this time. Here, help me.
Well,
They're not gonna stand up.
it's a challenge because they are gonna fall over. But we're gonna have another battle between the two bunnies. All right, here we go. There we go. All right, bunnies. Do you want to get on close to see how they are? Are we good? All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Battle. Oh. One's flying around.
I was gonna say, the one flew around.
I think he got stuck because he was very sticky. He stuck to the... He's stuck. Okay.
Sad. All right, one more. Oh, got any more toothpicks?
Oh, here we can steal toothpicks. All right.
All right, one more time.
Oh, we're gonna add a boulder into the mix. All right, we're adding weapons besides their jousting sticks. All right, here we go. Nope, we don't have a good seal.
Try not to place the bell right.
All right, that's what happens when we have a leak in the...
There was a little bit.
Yeah, all right, back to... All right, here we go.
There.
No?
Oh, am I off a little bit? It's not even technology. I can't even.
There we no,
This
it's
is-
going.
At this point, it's
We
easier.
have no seal.
At this point, it's
Here.
easier.
Here. You have to, the sugar is on here.
The peeps have kind of shed their outer coating.
You have to have a good seal. All right, So the sugar particles were, there we go.
Aha!
The sugar was interfering with making a good seal around the plate. All right.
Oh, this is gonna get very big. All right, here we go.
We step there.
We
Yep.
are sitting there.
All right, here we go. 2, 1, battle. Okay.
Look at our little marshmallows. You make it all crinkled.
Shriveled up. Here we go. So fluffy little peeps are now deflated because it broke the air chambers in there, and so when the air came back in, it crushes.
And the little marshmallows got crinkled too.
Okay. So the battle is over there. So another fun activity that we have planned is we are going to, and you guys can help us here. We put up the list the other day to make a catapult out of some pop cans and rubber bands, a little fork, and then when we get done with that, you can have a little battle. All right, assistant.
Which will? Assistant, you
Chaz?
gotta come over here.
Chaz, why don't you come over here? We have a young scientist with us today, and he's going to help while we build the catapult.
All right, so we're gonna get started here. Again, we're building catapult. So first thing we're gonna start with are the 2 soda pop cans and 2 rubber bands. So, Chaz, I'm gonna do it first, and then you can do it, but let me know if you need your help, because sometimes this part's a little bit tricky, because the soda cans don't necessarily like to listen. So the one thing is to first set the one can on its side, and then loop it across the top. And you gotta hold it there, and this is where you might need another hand to hold the cans there. If not, you can do it by yourself. Once again, you're gonna loop over the top that's still standing, of the can that's still standing up, and then you're gonna go over the bottom. So the first one is gonna kind of go over the top, and then over the bottom. And this way your can's gonna kind of sit at an angle. So Chaz, over the top, yep. And then over the top one more time. There you go. Need me to hold it, or you got it? Okay. So hold that over the top, and then over the bottom.
So you need kind of a sturdier rubber band when you're doing this.
All right. So those are the first 2. Like I said, need 8 to 10 depending how these go. But we're not done yet. We're now going to add another set of 2 more rubber bands doing the exact same thing. So again, one's going to go over the top can, and then it's going to go over the top. You're essentially just going to lay them over the same way you did the first one, over the top again, and then this time over the bottom. This way you kind of create a bit of an X between the cans. Try to bunch them together so that the rubber bands on the can that's tilted is about roughly half to 3/4 the way up, all squished together. That's really going to help later when we start going to the next one. So, cut it? Awesome. All right. Next, we are going to take a fork, and this is why I said it was important to kind of squish them together, because the fork is actually going to go underneath the rubber band. So this is one of those things, might need a little bit of help.
No, you're going to put your...
So you're going
part
to put
with
the teeth underneath.
teeth there.
Here we go. Here. And under, and try and kind of get it somewhat centered on the can. There we go. All right. Now that we have this is essentially going to become our launcher, but we're going to add just a bit more to kind of add some stability to it, and that is where our pencils come in. Now, it's probably best to use unsharpened pencils, this way you don't end up poking yourself, but it works either way. You need 2 more rubber bands, and here what we're going to do is we're actually going to take and carefully kind of twist and tie the ends together. Now you don't want it so tight that you're not going to be able to separate the pencils, and that'll make more sense later here in just a second. But you want to take and tie them on. For girls, this is easy because it's just like tying your hair. But it's, so put it on top, twist, go over, twist again, and just keep essentially twisting and going over.
That's probably good and tight.
Perfect. And so you want to test it. You want to be able to still take and lightly pull the pencils apart because, well, here, I'll look. There you go. Get yours. I'll wait for you. So we're on the same step. All right. Now, see if you can lightly pull the pencils apart. A little bit. Okay, good. Now, because what we're going to do is we're actually going to take the pencils and we're going to put them, the teeth of the fork, between the pencils. This is why you need to still be able to kind of pull them apart. That is fine. This part is tricky. It's one of those other spots. Having an extra set of hands is helpful. All right, so this makes it so that we have more, we don't have to worry about it bending so much that way. We have more that way. However, we also need to keep the fork kind of secured on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take, we need 2 more rubber bands, and we're gonna take and put the rubber band in between the first and second tooth of the fork. Then we're gonna go over the pencils and over to the back side of the can. And this is where you're gonna probably need an extra hand because that pencil is gonna wanna be pulled, the fork is gonna wanna be pulled to that one side until you can balance it out. So once again, it's gonna go in the other teeth. I might go to the center, but we'll see. I have an extra force just in case they break. And now, just a little bit more on here. Boom. Keep our fork from going anywhere. All right, so I actually wound up with a couple extra rubber bands. So that's okay. Now, we have essentially our catapult. The problem is we have nothing to put our launchable devices into, which is where our Dixie cups come in handy. So if you have a pair of scissors, you can use them, but otherwise I'm just gonna take and tear this down. We still wanna keep some of the lip of the cup because we need it to hold, but we don't need this entire thing. So we're just gonna go around. It don't have to be perfect. You just need to be able to have a bit of a lip so that you can put something in there to launch. That's okay. That's where tape comes in handy. So if you have Scotch tape or masking tape, either one works. The whole point for this is to simply to be able to attach the cup to the fork. So there is a thing of tape for you, Chaz. And one of the things to keep in mind when you attach your essentially launcher holder thingy, you want to make sure that you leave just a bit of the fork available so that you can get your fingernail on it so that you can still launch. Now, you can find the way that works best for you. But what I do is I put the tape on the inside of the cup, take and crease it, and then I wrap it around the bottom of the fork, and then come back around because I have extra tape that twisted itself up. Hold on. Ah. All right. And just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, I'm gonna add that little bit extra to the bottom. So now we have our catapult. Our catapult is now done. So Chaz's is now done as well. So we need some ammunition.
Okay.
So we're gonna have just a little battle here. We're gonna go over here.
And we're always thinking about safety, so our eyes are protected with our goggles.
All right. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, too high! Ah! I
Ready, aim, fire. Whee! You shot two?
It wasn't there.
Okay. One more round here. Ready? Aim. Fire. Okay, so you can have a little bit of fun. Please be safe and enjoy launching and making your catapults. We have one more little activity over here that we are going to show you. And it is, yep, up on that table there.
And you can use anything you want to launch. We just had some old crunchy marshmallows available to us, but beads or something else also work as well.
Okay. So what we have here today is John, and John has the Peep, and in that little flask on the table is our liquid nitrogen. And we're going to expose the Peep to the liquid nitrogen for a few seconds.
We're still bubbling. Now, liquid nitrogen is really cold. We have our double insulated flask for our liquid nitrogen using tongs. It boils at negative 320 degrees, so it's something we do not want to touch. Marshmallow still.
So what happens, like if it's cold, usually we think of things shrinking, right? When it's cold.
Yep.
So is this going to physically change?
He may change a little, but being a solid, he's not going to change as much as if we expose it to a balloon of air.
Okay.
So there's
Okay,
our marshmallow.
let's get a
About
look
the
close
same
here.
size. He's crispy.
Okay.
But we have my favorite scientific tool out again. It's a lever, it applies force, aka the hammer. So we'll see what happens to our little frozen friend, the Peep. He got smashed into little smithereens. Now we have our little pink birdie Peep.
You can see in there. So it sounds like it's boiling, sizzling.
I can tell it's still getting colder in the inside. So we're gonna wait a little bit. The inside of the bunny was a little smushy yet. So it all calms down. There we go. Oh, his tail broke off already.
Yeah,
All right.
change size.
Yep. Still a little smushy, but definitely crispy little marshmallow pieces. We got one last little guy here. We have a regular little marshmallow. Got marshmallow stuck everywhere now.
They are kind of gooey.
This one has a lot less surface area, so it takes a lot less time, and it just smushes into a powder.
That one disintegrates quite easily.
So that's some fun. Liquid nitrogen is not something everybody has because it's obviously something that's very cold and you have to express a lot of care with. So it is something fun to play with and experiment with as mad scientists here at the Edgerton. So we hope you've had fun. Hopefully you'll be able to have some fun with catapults, or I've done peep jousting in the microwave. If you don't have a bell jar, just put them on a disposable plate because sugar will melt in the microwave. So you do not want to have to clean that off of a good regular dinner plate. So use a paper plate, stick a little toothpick in them so they can joust with each other. So we hope you have fun. And because of the Easter holiday weekend, we will be back tomorrow instead of Friday at 2 p.m. and we'll have some more themed fun for you all to let's explore it tomorrow, and we hope to see you then. Have a great day.